So I started the recording. So good evening, everyone. Thank you all. I can see 16 attendees for joining us for this webinar. We are talking about how to get an edge, an early edge when you're preparing for your profile and preparing for your colleges. So laying down the structure of the webinar is such that we would have a fireside chat conversations wherein we as a panelist would be cross-questioning each other about our programs or about our offerings and what we have in store for high school students. We'll quickly start with our introductions and then the Q&A and the post. I think around in another 30 to 35 minutes, we will be opening the floor for everybody to ask us questions if they have any doubts, what do they think, and any question that has remained unanswered throughout the fireside chat. Prithvi, over to you. Could you please introduce yourself?
Thanks, Arushi. So hi guys, I'm Prithvi and I'm head of partnerships and programs for PIPPAMS. It's the daughter company of SI Education, which is a leading admissions consultancy based out of Asia. And PIPPAMS essentially is an activity discovery and management tool that helps students build profiles outside of the classroom space. So it's essentially a LinkedIn for high school students that matches students with activities. So that's pretty much about PIPPAMS. Urvashi, would you like to go ahead?
Sure. Thanks so much, Prithvi. Hi, everybody. Urvashi here. I am currently the lead for Young Scholars Program at Ashoka University. Young Scholars Program is a summer program that we offer to students who are entering grade 9 to 12. It is part of the Office of High School Programs at Ashoka University. I'm very happy to see so many interested attendees here. Thank you for joining us. Looking forward to interacting with all of you. Arushi, go for it.
Thanks, Prithvi and Urvashi. I think we really had to introduce ourselves, but I think we're so much into the offerings that we have for high school students, we just forget about ourselves. So I'll just talk about me for 2 minutes, then we can talk about our program. So hi, I'm Arushi. I'm leading Horizons Achievers program at Ashoka University, and I've been working with Ashoka University for 2 years now, but my interest and passion is really to work in that online space. So I did my master's from TES Mumbai, and then I also worked with Delhi government, wherein we launched Delhi Model Virtual School. So my interest spills from online education to integrating ICT and working with a lot of stakeholders in education space. And yeah, I think we'll get a lot of chance to talk about Horizons Achievers program once we start the conversations. So over to you, Urvashi and Prithvi. Thanks, everyone. Thank you for joining once again.
Okay, so Urvashi, I think my first question is to you. Can you just first tell us about what exactly is YSP? Ashoka has a bunch of different offerings, so we just wanted to learn more about YSP especially. What does it do?
Okay, thank you for that question. I think it's very good to start with the basics. Actually, the Office of High School Programs right now have two offerings. One is called HAP, which is Horizons Achievers Program, and the second is called Young Scholars Program, which is what I lead. Young Scholars Program is largely a summer program that is offered to students who are entering grade 9 to 12. So if you're somebody who's just passed out grade 8, entering grade 9, and if you're somebody who's just passed out grade 12, all of you are eligible to enter and apply for Young Scholars Program. It's a transformative summer program designed for students who are right now either at the decision-making stage as to what streams they want to study later on in grade 11 to 12. And for students who are right now about to enter college and right now have to make decisions about what they want to study in the future, eventually what they want to do in their careers. What we offer is an immersive learning experience in the liberal arts and sciences. We follow the very learning principles of the Ashoka University, which is a very immersive experience in learning. We encourage a lot of critical thinking. We do a lot of interdisciplinary explanation through different kind of sessions. And eventually we foster the intellectual curiosity that could help students become better decision makers towards what they want to do later in life. So it's kind of like a bridge program that we offer high schoolers. We know that high school does not necessarily prepare you for what's coming up next, either in life as careers or for college. While I see that high school, I've been an educator for 7 years, so I know that high school education is getting empowering by the minute. It is getting better. Definitely what I studied and what I see students studying now, it's very different. However, there still continues to remain a gap between what high school provides you in terms of skills and knowledge versus what is required for you to have when you enter college, or when you enter your careers. So I think our summer programs does that bridge building. We provide the knowledge set that you might require when you enter your college stage, when you have to make decisions in grade 11 and 12. We provide you that skill set that you need to either make decisions or apply when you're studying for certain disciplines. We also, at YSP, we also give you the exposure to what is waiting for you in terms of just college life. I think prepare you socially in terms of environment, in terms of your well-being, what's waiting for you, how to make friends, what is the community that is waiting for you, and the importance of it. I think largely that.
That was super interesting. And it's also, I think, very, very useful for gap year students as well, who just want to take some time off and just
Absolutely.
explore subjects because they're not sure about what they want to study or what they want to dedicate the rest, the next 3 years to. So that's
I think
definitely
just to build on
interesting.
that, what you're saying, I think it's definitely a great way to look at it. It's better to walk in with all the necessary tools that you have, like sharpen your
Right.
sword before you have to take that decision. So it's definitely something that we provide the students to do. You take your time, you figure out what's waiting for you, and then you make that decision as to what you want to do for life. Because we see that education is not a sprint. It's kind of like a long journey that you take towards learning to becoming a better person. So I think both HAP as well as Young Scholars Program add to that. So thank you for that thought.
Definitely. Arushi, would you like to tell us a little bit about Horizons Achievers Program as well?
Sure. So talking about Horizons Achievers Program. So Horizons Achievers Program is a program. It's one of the highest rated programs, I must say, for the online courses that we are offering to high school students, as per the highest industry standards. And it's the only program right now that is being offered to high school students that offers immersive courses. What do I mean by immersive courses? Is that the students would be learning live from a faculty. So when we talk about Horizons Achievers Program, we talk that the students would be spending 5 weekends with us in an online format on Saturdays and Sundays. So they would be learning live with a faculty on a Saturday, and they would be working on a capstone project. So you can imagine Horizons Achievers Program as a program which gives you an opportunity, a platform to actually build your profile. So say for instance, you are undecided and you are still in that phase where you need that clarity that what I need to pursue when I have to make that subject choices or have to make that university choices. So I think that is where Young Scholars Program comes into picture. That it walks you through all the like one particular discipline, but all the subject choice that you can take. But when it comes to Horizons programs, so say for instance, you are right now in a high school space and you are really, maybe in your 11th and 12th grade and you've taken business and you've taken finances and you are, basically in that commerce stream and you're still, maybe towards psychology. So building that profile that I come from a business background, but I'm still interested in psychology. But maybe my high school is not providing me that opportunity to explore what psychology could look like. And you are in a way determined that maybe I want to explore this subject further. I want to understand what it takes to actually work in this field. So Horizons Achievers Program has curated 15 courses of such kind, which will give you an opportunity to dive deep into one of the courses. So you would be engaging live with the faculty for 18 hours and you would be working on a real-time capstone project. This project could be that you are designing your own AI bot. It could be your deciphering a lot of data sets, which could be astronomical data sets or climatic data sets. It depends on the course. But the capstone project is such that it actually gives a high school student a glimpse of the future of work, but then also what it takes and, to test their conviction in what they want to pursue. So giving that clarity and also helping them to build their profile. So if a student of a similar background says, they want to pursue a degree in psychology, but they did not get a chance to study about it in their 9th, 10th or 11th and 12th. So they can go to a college and say that, hey, I'm interested in psychology and I did this very project, I did this course, this is what I have learned from it, this is what my journey has been. And we have a lot of extended things which happen with Horizons Achievers Program, and I think I'll just keep that information for later so that it doesn't feel so overwhelming. But yeah, thanks, Prithvi, for that question.
Thanks, Arushi.
I think, Prithvi, I'll just ask you this question. So, Urvashi and I have been talking about the academic profiles that the students can build when it comes to making a choice between young scholars program or, having that clarity or also testing your conviction is not a choice per se, but it's dependent on on which crossroads you are. So, just wanted to understand from you that, how PIPPAM is coming into picture when it comes to building students' profile for their extracurricular activities.
Right. So PIPPAMS essentially, like I said earlier, matches students with extracurricular activities such as the Horizons Achievers program and the Young Scholars program. We have about more than 350 activities at the moment, and yours is, of course, there. And we essentially determine activities through something called the CAP value. So it's a special proprietary metric that assesses an activity's relevance and rigor in relation to a student's interests, essentially. So this can all seem very complicated. Let me just break it down for you in a simple acronym, which is called the ERA. So before choosing an activity, you should make sure that you're eligible for it. You need to make sure that it's rigorous enough, and you need to make sure that it's suitable to your long-term academic goals. So, for example, if you're a student who wishes to do YSP as a 12-year-old, that's not possible, right? YSP happens at an advanced level. There, of course, might be other opportunities for you, but that takes care of the eligibility bit. Next, like I said, is the activity rigorous enough? So when we talk about a YSP or an HAP, they are of course very rigorous. They're taught by pioneers. They come from very established institutions. So the history of an activity is very important to vet, and PIPPAMS does exactly that. Next is how suitable they are to your academic goals. So, in case you want to explore different subjects, of course, go do that. But if you're sure that you want to be a mathematician when you grow up and you're interested in doing a gender studies activity, that might not be the most suitable for your profile. While if you're interested in it, it can give you an edge, definitely. But if you're short on time, in case you have exams to prep for, you have SAT, ACTs to prep for, you should focus your energies on academic disciplines that you actually do want to study at the end of the day. So essentially, these are the three kind of metrics that are used within the software that automatically suggest activities to you. So that takes away from the thinking aspect of it, or perhaps even looking for activities, because that is a very difficult job. Um, so yes, thanks for the question, Arushi.
Yeah, I think
Uh,
Prithvi, I'll use this space to follow up on the
sure.
question. So since you said that it is automated, I think our participants would really like to understand, I think there's an edge when it comes to a system generated profiles and they're guiding you. But I just wanted to understand how people actually, why students should rely on PIPPAM than maybe on their schools. Like how PIPPAM comes into picture, giving students an edge or more clarity, and why shouldn't they be just limited to their school counselors or the guidance that they receive from their schools.
Definitely. So that's an interesting question, because there's already so much happening at schools, like Urvashi had also mentioned. There's just so many opportunities coming to students' ways. Everyone has a lot on their plate, and of course, we don't want students to get burnt out because of the plethora of activities that there are out there. So definitely, you should participate in school activities up to a certain level, because your teachers will be the ones giving you your letters of recommendations. They will be the ones submitting your predicted scores. So that's definitely important. Um, but at the same time, Arushi had mentioned, you need to be able to thrive in different environments. You need to be able to show the university that you're eventually applying to that you're ready for a college level education, which is where PIPPAMS comes in. So when I'll show you the platform a bit later as well. But when you essentially apply for or even participate in a very high value activity that could boost up your profile exceedingly well. Um, so these are the kind of ways in which PIPPAMS can be utilized in the day-to-day. Of course, don't do every activity. Do activities that are high on the cap value side. Do activities that your parents are okay with, your teachers are okay with. But definitely step outside of the classroom space, because that's what university and college essentially is, right? Stepping outside of that comfort zone and entering an academic environment that is advanced in nature. So yes. Thanks for the follow-up, Arushi. Um, Okay, so Urvashi, I actually had a question for you. Now, we're definitely talking a lot about like interdisciplinary research and the ethos of Ashoka, which is of course very intersectional, like we said before. So I also wanted to know what are the key components of the program that kind of tie in these things together, and what can students expect to learn at the end of the day?
Well, thank you for asking that question, Shruti. I think when I think of ISP, and just to make it actually simpler for everybody else who's attending the webinar, uh, there's this two, three things that we keep in mind. A, that we want to create a very holistic learning experience. So we think about all aspects of learning. We think about knowledge and skills. We think about peer learning. We think about hands-on experience. We also think about that you get to interact with a lot of industry experts, and we think about the fun elements. We think about sports nights and talent nights. So it's a very holistic experience that we try to create with YSP. The key components that I would want attendees to take away is the three cornerstones to YSP. A, that we have faculty-led seminars where faculty comes and instructs you on different disciplines or topics that belong to a wide range of fundamental and very, very important disciplines, relevant disciplines of today. Second, you have hands-on workshops where you get to create, you become the producer of your own experience, you get to create new materials. You also have makerspace sessions where you're literally working with hardware or designing software to do new innovations at the cusp of technology and sciences or computer sciences. And number three is industry experts. We have inspiring speakers who come in and interact with high schoolers. And again, I would like to underline this is grade 9 to 12. So the tricky part is that we get it right every time, is to strike that balance where a grade 9 student finds it as enriching as a grade 12 student. So it's very important that you hear directly from the experts rather than just us. These are a few things that we keep in mind. We have a lot of thought-provoking discussions. We explore new academic fields. Something that we do at the end of ISP is that we redo or sort of take into account the feedback that we have received, and we sort of upgrade our own program designs so that it caters to students and so that the program becomes relevant for students who are entering every year. So we are not thinking about what's important now. We're thinking from the lens of what will be important 5 years down the line. Do you really need to learn coding right now? Because with the advent of AI systems, what does the space in computer sciences, data sciences look like? So these are the elements that we think about. And that's why from all of that thought process this year, we are offering 9 different programs. Across 9 different disciplines. We have the foundations program, we have 2 STEM programs, specifically for people who are interested in the hard sciences or people who are directly interested in the computer sciences. We also have a program on business and leadership. We have programs on impact. I mean, it's the range is just crazy. But at the end of it, the principle remains the same, that we want to explore the length and breadth of knowledge and skills across different disciplines so that students become decision makers when they want to make that choice as to what they want to do later in life.
Right. I actually had a follow-up question about this. So definitely there's a lot of delving into particular subjects and also kind of exploring them from a holistic
Mm.
lens. And I also wanted to understand what sets YSP apart from other summer schools in that sense. Why should we choose YSP in particular?
Yeah, I mean, I can be very arrogant here and say what doesn't. But I think it is important to keep in mind that we are growing very, very fast, and there's definitely something that works for us. We are the largest summer program at this point, and we are certified. I think what truly works best for us is that we really care about the user experience, which is the students. We really, really do perform when we say that the end product of ISP students become better decision makers. They need to have more insight into what is waiting for them in a particular discipline, and they explore more. They might walk in with a lot of biases. They might think that they know everything. I want to do computer sciences, I want to do psychology, and they walk in with a very set notion that this is what psychology is. So we do both. We help students learn new things. At the same time, we help them unlearn whatever they're walking in with, new biases or whatever they've got. We make them better informed and very, very self-aware. And it's very interesting that we're able to do that within a 1 week period or within a 2 week period. I think what also sets us apart is we think that students always deserve to learn from the best. And so we provide them a global faculty that is part of the Ashoka network. And when I say Ashoka network, I just don't mean that who are part of on the payroll of the Ashoka University. I mean who's part of the Ashoka network, and that is vast. We have professors who are visiting from the US, and we make sure that if we think that they can add to the learning of the students, we get them to teach the students. We also have industry experts. I think a few names that I remember is we have Sanjeev Bhikchandani, who's the founder of Naukri.com, if I'm not mistaken. We also have Deep Card, I think, last year. And this is from somebody who's relatively new in the system, but it's just interesting to see how the Ashoka network enables industry experts to be part of the learning process of students. So they get to learn from the best, which I don't think I've seen in any other summer programs. And the last bit is that, like I said, holistic is a word that is it's like a Bible, and we create everything out of that. We believe that learning needs to be joyful and learning needs to be fun. Um, and so we create spaces where students are not just interacting with the best, with the experts, with Nobel laureates like Jack Sostak, but we believe that peer learning is as important an element as anything else. So we create spaces where students are working together on project modules. We create spaces where they're just being kids together. Um, because I think decision making needs to be fun. It shouldn't be like a heavy weight on our shoulders. I think this is why ISP is such a success as compared to other summer programs across the country.
Thanks for that, Urvashi. I feel like putting you guys in a boxing ring because I want to ask Arushi this question now. Why should a high schooler choose HAP?
Boxing per se, it does come across that since high school programs is offering two programs, that is YSP and HAP, and that we are in competition, but not really. It really can be seen as at which crossroads the child is standing at. So if they want to seek that clarity, it is then they choose YSPs, because as Urvashi shared that the students are learning a lot, but also demystifying. There are a lot of myths and a lot of misconceptions that they come with, that okay, if I need to do computer sciences, I need to be very well profound with coding. And these are the top languages that I need to learn by heart. So, all of these things are actually broken down for the students who are new to that discipline. But when it comes to have students know the field per se, they understand the topic, they understand, okay, this is something that really interests me. And they want to say, if they are interested in coding also, for example, and computer sciences, they can actually get into a space wherein they're building something for themselves. So, but yeah, I'll just go back to the question, which is what sets apart Horizons Achievers program for other online courses that are being offered. So there are a lot of paid and unpaid courses that high school students can avail. But what makes High Horizons Achievers program truly distinctive is that it is being taught live. So you won't find, I think this is something that not many people understand, but you have the faculty coming in and teaching live. So you can ask your questions. There are a lot of group activities and one-to-one activities that the students engage with. So it's like an immersive experience. You're not learning asynchronously, though our learning is bifurcated into synchronous learning and asynchronous learning. Learn live from the faculty. You also get to solve for your doubts or your queries that you have with the mentors. So there is also a lot of one-to-one attention that these high school students get. So Horizons Achievers program is, the courses are pitched at the college introductory level, that the students get an edge. They are able to make sense to a ninth grader and a 12th grader, because these are some of the topics that they don't find in their school curricula, and they should talk alike to all these 9, 10th, 11, 12. So the students need that space. They need to ask a lot of questions, which cannot happen when a course is being offered in an only asynchronous format. That they are getting responded to when asked for. It's a lot of group activities that the students take part in. They are working on their capstone project, which is scaffolded. So if I were to give an example, say for instance, how to write your story, which many of the students actually use to submit for their SOPs in the college applications. So there are a lot of case studies that the students look at. They would look at what some of the essays that we receive during admissions, like what a good essay looks like and what a bad essay would look like. So there are a lot of relevant case studies that happen, but then also some fictional characters that they play with. Say for example, if they were to give Phoebe or Ursula, I think Friends is one series that everybody associates with, and high school students were totally amazed. So they were just trying to build profiles for them and what could be the strengths and weaknesses that they can reflect on to get Phoebe or Ursula into the college. Something as relevant for a high schooler to go back and think about, and just talking about other courses as well. So it makes them, work on the brands, on the problems that they encounter in their daily lives. Say, for instance, if a high schooler is learning about mathematics right now, and it could be some 14th chapter in their NCRT books, or some probability that they are learning, but how to actually build onto that knowledge, so the foundations, and to learn with a mentor and a faculty in that closed immersive environment, it actually helps the student. So this is what sets apart. It is certified. Definitely, it's Ashoka certified, which adds to the credibility of what we are offering. Um, it also, students also get a chance, which not high school students not don't actually get when they are in the schooling system, to get a letter of academic appreciation from a university faculty. So these faculties are definitely from Ashoka's network, not just Ashoka University's faculty, but across the world. And we also have industry experts teaching these courses, so they could get a letter of appreciation, a letter of recommendation, which they can use to actually talk about their work in college admissions. But I will now just break the what I wanted to talk about. What really 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 sets us apart is the extended opportunity that we have come up with for this year. So the students who are doing Horizons courses, they could get an extended opportunity. That is, if you are a high schooler and you are sitting in a grade 9, 10, 11, 12, work, imagine yourself interning or working with a Ashoka faculty. So you have this endless opportunities. You could get a research opportunity with the faculty. You could get an internship opportunity with the faculty, where you're actually going in the field and observing the practices. You could also get some publication opportunities. So say, for instance, in our research writing course, the students could actually get a chance to publish their research with the Springer Nature. So this is one of the publications that we are partnering with, and the students would get prizes worth, some euros, ebooks. So it not only helps the student to develop that instant gratification that they have learned this concept, they have got this clarity, but then also, build a lifelong plan that, okay, this is something that I want to pursue, and this is giving me that scope to just go beyond the course learning as well. So I think that suffices what sets us apart.
Definitely. And for whoever who's not aware, Springer is it's an esteemed journal publication, and lots of academics, aspiring academics, really wish to publish their work there. And this collaboration will be great. If high school students can get to that level, it's absolutely brilliant. So thanks for sharing that, Arushi.
And actually, yeah, it's absolutely lovely. I think I wish I had the chance of doing all this. But we've heard, like, from what Urvashi has shared so far and what Arushi has shared, you've heard that there's plethora of activities that are available for kids. I think my question is to you, Prithvi. I think this can be a little bit overwhelming for students. So, how would PIPPAM help a child streamline the co-curricular activities they need to figure out for their learning journey, since there's a plethora of activities to choose from? What role would
Right.
PIPPAM play in that decision making for the student?
Right. I'll definitely come to that, but I found something Arushi said really interesting about Phoebe and Ursula. I just want to kind of carry on from there, and then I'll come to you, Urvashi, and we'll show the platform. But basically about creating profiles for different individuals. So I think everyone here should understand that an application that goes in for a university is a unique chance to tell your story. Essentially, everyone has grades, everyone has SAT scores, ACT scores, and the works, right? Everyone's doing APs, everyone's on top of the game. But what sets you apart is your story. What appeals to your um emotional and academic kind of mind and brain. So PIPPAMS essentially helps you do that. And now, Vishi, coming to your question, I just want to quickly show everyone the platform as well, because this is going to be interesting. So this is what PIPPAMS essentially looks like. And students sign on with us, schools sign on with us, school counselors sign on with us. And essentially, it gives you a little, so this is the home page. It gives you a bit of analytics about upcoming activities, tasks, reports. But before all of this, I want to show you guys something really interesting, which is setting up the My Profile page. Um, Now, what students essentially do is they fill in some essential biographical information about themselves, their date of birth, their residence, citizenship, grades. Urvashi and Arushi would know that when they are getting questions from students about, hey, I'm in this grade, can I participate? Hey, I'm from Bulgaria, can I participate? And all of that. So this essentially kind of breaks that down and puts it into a technologically advanced situation. And after all of that, you essentially just choose what you want to study. So let's, for example, say this Indian kid who is in grade 11 wants to study biology, and we save the profile. And then that's where the magic starts, because you get a bunch of different activities that would be relevant to your profile. And the activities you are already eligible for. You don't need to check. So, for example, the STL High School Science Award is definitely a very prestigious activity for students across Asia. Now, this is interesting. STL has a different um, competition for students in the United States, and they have a different competition for students in mainland China. This is an Indian student, and that's why this version of the STL is showing up, and it gives you different information about what the competition exactly is. Students interested in which subjects should complete this activity. Um, are these dates estimated? Is the program virtual or in person? Whether it costs money, STR is free. All science kids, please do this. It's very nice. And when the registration opens, closes, etc., etc., etc. And then it finally takes you to the web page as well, where you can fill in your application. Now, I take a moment to also show you about how the eligibility plays a role. So right now, the student was in grade 11, was in India, wanted to study biology. Now, let's just suppose this kid is in grade 10. Earlier, we were seeing 157 activities, and now it's gone down to 152 because the system has automatically eliminated activities that you might not be eligible for. So this saves a bunch of time when when you want to make use of your summer winter breaks, but you just don't know where to begin. School is definitely helpful, but school, of course, has a lot on their plate. Counselors are dealing with a lot on a daily basis. So this just essentially helps you simplify it. So this was the activity discovery part of the platform. And now I'm going to quickly show you the activity management space of the platform. Essentially, whichever activities you add to your activity list, it gives you a breakdown about what you need to do by which date in order to complete the activity. Um, so for example, this student wanted to do guided tour of machine learning in finance. Now the course is open indefinitely and can be certified by paying a small fee. Now this is interesting because as laymen, we won't know that. There are so many activities out there. What do we do? Um, if you want to join ladder internships, you got to work on your application essays. That's how you get in. If you want to do AI internship for young achievers, the program is only open till the batch fills up. You need to apply ASAP. Um, you want to take a chance at financial aid, this is there. So these are the kind of management steps that allow you to first find activities and then complete it so that you're not stressed about, oh, what do I do now? There are a lot of competitions and even Olympiads where deadlines are important, dates are changing, etc., etc. Any competition held by the government of India, we know that the tech is going to be working fine. They're not updating stuff. We check in with them, we make sure it's updated here, and that's how you get the correct information just on your laptop screens. So yeah, thanks Arushi for asking that question. That was thank you for giving me a chance to also present the platform to you all.
Yeah, I just had a follow-up for this question.
Right.
We can see a lot of work being put on. So can a student enroll on this platform free of cost, or is there a fee? Like how does a student or a counselor enroll for it?
Right. So while building this platform, we decided that we want to make it extremely accessible to the masses. So even if you're someone who doesn't want to explore education, undergraduate education in the United States, you should be able to explore activities, right? I mean, that's just something that builds your confidence in the long run and also is a chance for you to explore different academic disciplines. So again, we wanted to make this super accessible. The platform is available on both free and paid versions. The free version limits the number of activities you can see and the number of times you can change your profile. So for example, right now I changed the grade and stuff. I can't do that unlimited number of times. So that. But the paid version is only 500 rupees per taxes plus taxes per year. So it is, of course, very, very easily accessible towards for the masses. And yeah, if you're a student or a parent who wants to sign up, you can literally just come to our website and click on sign up, sorry.
Yeah, we can see your
Okay.
screen.
You can't?
And now it's visible, the website, right?
Yeah, that's us.
Oh,
And yeah, if you're a student or a parent and you want to sign up for this, you can sign up here, sign up as an individual, and you can either choose the free or the paid version. And you can, of course, convert it to a paid account once you feel you want to kind of upgrade it. And if you're a school, then you should get in touch with us. I'll just drop in our contact at the end of this call. Um, Thanks, Arushi. Um, Urvashi actually had a question for you now. Um, Definitely YSP is a very, very integral opportunity, especially just, being in India. Ashoka is a pioneer for a lot of disciplinary work happening in the field. I just wanted to know, how do students essentially apply? How do students get there?
Thank you so much for that question, Triti. I think before I answer that question, I also like this question that's there. I think as a counselor, how can we make children understand about their careers? And there's a question about assessing each student's strength, all of that. I think all three of us who are present on the system and on in the webinar right now, we are in some capacity counseling students to do better and make better choices. So I think the number one thing that I think of when I'm trying to empower a student to be the decision maker is that I think that I'm enabling them. I'm not here to make the decision for you. I listen to you, I ask you the right question that leads you to that right decision making. And I think when we even for I think Ashoka, when we talk about either Horizons Achievers program, we have Young Scholars program, and they're both amazing, rigorous experiences. They have their differences, of course, but I think we don't pitch it like it's a business. We talk to the student, we see where they are in the decision making stage, and then we move on from there to say, okay, what are your interests? We become more and more specific, and eventually it's the student who takes the call whether I want to do Horizons Achievers or whether I want to do Young Scholars at the same time. Similarly for PIPPAMS, I think what you're trying to do is give them the very basic filters they need to apply and eventually make that call as to which opportunity is right for you. So the idea is to get the student to be the decision maker, A, and B, I think as a counselor, it's very important to ask the right questions. I think that's my perspective. Uh, And that is why I think Young Scholars is largely for students who are right now in a very exploratory phase. They may know that they like different subjects. They may think that their influence right now is towards psychology and literature versus business or leadership. In that case, I think Young Scholars is the best choice to make. Come here, explore, learn with the experts, and hear what the discipline is all about. But at the same time, I've also met students who are right now at a little bit further in the decision making stage. They definitely want to do computer sciences later in life. They're fallen in love with the subject. They know that it's the field for them. They're not scared. Like the basic questions that you ask yourself, I will have to study this discipline for 6 hours a day in college. Am I okay with that? Will I get bored? Will I get scared? Will I eventually lose interest? And these are the students who say, no, you know what, I'm okay with studying this subject. It is giving me a lot of joy. It's definitely something I want to explore further in college, but I want to be better prepared for that. And that's where horizons come in. We say, come here, learn with on a specific topic in a specific discipline. Learn with the expert, create a capstone project, assess how much you've learned, and be better prepared for college. So I think as a counselor, you ask the right questions, and then you pitch in a particular tool that might help them become a decision maker. But the idea is to give the agency to the student always. Now, coming down to the very important question that Prithvi asked, which is how can you apply? I think the process is pretty simple. You go on our website, you can click, there are multiple applies happening everywhere on our website. You can click anywhere, you can apply for a particular program. We also have specific blocks on our website, specifically for a particular program that you're interested in. If you click apply now on that program, you'll be able to apply there. As far as selection criteria goes, like I said, Young Scholars Program is for all students entering grade 9 to 12. And if you're somebody who's just passed out of grade 12, you're eligible to apply. What we look out for is a holistic profile, like Prithvi is talking about, like Arushi is talking about. We don't look out just for like somebody who's doing extensively well in academics, but they've not taken any chances in extracurriculars or co-curriculars. We look at if a student is applying for a particular course, say computer sciences, we largely look at if their profile suits that particular discipline. Have they taken any other courses that may give us a hint that they're very interested in the discipline? Or we see how active they are in other co-curricular activities. So there's a weightage given to academics, definitely academic success, but we also take into account how active you are in your other fields. We also look at what kind of books that you like to read, what films you like to watch. So there are questions, application overall is very holistic. So if you're somebody who is not performing super well in academics, but you have a very well-rounded student life, you have fun elements in your student life, that would be fantastic. And the third part of the essay is that of the application is the essay, like Arushi is saying, where we give you a prompt basis the program that you select, and eventually we go through each application and see what kind of essay you've written. So it's pretty simple. A key deadline to remember right now would be March 2nd. That's our early application deadline. So if you have students who have either applied, have not heard back, students who are right now maybe in the exam process, but have not made that decision yet, have not submitted their application, please get them to do so. Because after this, the seats become and the choices selections become a little bit limited. So it would be best to apply by the early deadline so that they hear back in time and make sure that their seats are there when they eventually make it to ISP. I think I'm also going to throw this to Arushi. Arushi, if you could just tell us about the dates for the courses and any financials involved for the courses.
Sure. So the date for the courses are that we would be running our courses from May 17th to June 14th over the weekends. So on May 17th and June 14th, whatever the weekends lie during that period, which is Saturdays and Sundays, you would be working with us live, 11 to 1, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. That is the live interaction with the faculty and our TFs, the teaching fellows, the mentors. And during the week, you could be scheduling one-to-one calls with your mentors. So that is the asynchronous part that happens at per the student's convenience, and it is very self-paced. So they can take a call during the week, but live interaction happens from May 17th to June 14th, 5 weekends, and Saturdays and Sundays. So those are the dates. The courses, we go with the tagline that we cater to very small cohorts since this is an online offering. So we want to make a big impact with the smaller cohorts, and the seats are such that it is on rolling basis. We do have an application deadline, which is April 6th, which is the early application deadline. But as soon as we hit a number of the capacity of an online class, we would just be closing those courses. I would also like to share the Horizons Achievers website with all of our participants. I would really encourage you to go through our catalog, which is the 15 courses that we are uh, offering this time in summer 2025. These are the courses which are ranged from your subject courses to your skill courses. So you have a lot of skill courses also coming in, when we talk about a lot of transferable skills. So if you're thinking about critical thinking, the case study for this course is definitely the digital apps that we're using these days. But these are the skills that you can actually learn and transfer into a real life situation, any life situation, or maybe while making a critical decision in your careers or lives or anything for that matter. We also have design thinking courses, writing and communication courses, research writing courses. So yeah, this is the website, and it also has a enroll now button for any of the courses that you're interested in. I think Prithvi and Urvashi, if we are done with our set of questions, we can just open the floor for all of our participants.
Yes.
I can see a lot of uh, yeah. So I'll just take some of the questions which I see on the Q&A, but meanwhile, I would encourage our participants to raise their hands, and we would be able to unmute you. So, but meanwhile, just taking this question from an anonymous attendee, that the internship opportunity with the faculty mentioned in how would it be available this year or future programs as well? So, this is what we are trying to establish through our program. The courses that we are offering in summer. So the idea is to make it an year-round offering, that we just not only talk to high school students when they have a summer break, but then we would be doing these courses multiple times during the year with them. It could be during October and November, it could be during winters, it could be some other months that work really well with the students when they're not, busy with their examination. Since these courses are only over the weekend, and they have been designed in such a fashion that a high school student, while attending school, can also do these online courses. So they are definitely rigorous, but it gives you enough capacity and enough bandwidth to work on a capstone project and manage your other academics or co-curricular or extracurricular activities as well. And the opportunities, yeah, I think we would be floating them, and we would be asking faculty like what more they can offer to the students, because this is also the feedback that we got from the faculty, that they were able to mentor students. So we did not do this extended opportunities in our previous two cycles, that is we did it 2023 and 24. It is with the student and faculty relationships that we could bring in this for everybody. So we had two of our students who actually got mentored by our Ashoka faculty, Professor Rintu Kutum, and they actually worked with him on a project which was an ongoing project with Ashoka University. So it really gave the high schoolers an opportunity to talk about a real life challenge or a problem that they were working for. So I think that is the idea that we built on, and also a lot of feedback from the students and parents, that these opportunities became part of the program. But yeah, we are hopeful that we will be giving them for the upcoming cycles as well. Yeah. Do we see any other question? I know Munish has a lot of questions. And Munish, would you like to unmute yourself? I can give you that. Yeah, you can unmute yourself. But meanwhile, okay, Munish, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Arushi, Urvashi, and Prithvi. My questions are basically, how do I decide amongst the programs which program is good for my daughter? Point number one. Point number two, my daughter traveling from Bombay to Sonipat, how safe it is. Point number three, during this workshop, will you be having the capability assessment, which will help my daughter to decide which career is best suited for her to leverage her strengths? I think, yeah, these are the three questions which I had posted. And what is the size of each program? And what is the male-female mix?
So Manish, I think your question is related to Young Scholars Program, right?
YSP, yeah, summer workshop.
Yes, yes. So I can take few of the questions. Urvashi, would you like to answer? Then I can just come in.
Sure. Thanks, Arushi. I'm going to start with the most important question. I think, how do we decide which program to opt for? I think, um, Manish, I think the way you guide the students is you ask a lot of questions and you see what interest lies for them. I've met grade 9 students who have a lot of interests. So for them, we have different programs that we suggest. But we've also met grade 12 students who have very specific, very niche interests at this point of time because they are much further in their decision-making journey. They're about to start their college next year. So I would just like to actually ask you, which grade is your ward in?
She's in A levels.
A levels mean
Yeah,
grade
11th.
11.
Yeah, grade 11.
Okay. Okay. So I think if she's right now still in the exploratory phase, if she's not made the choice of any particular streams, then just ask a lot of questions about what they want to do later, what programs they're interested in right now, or disciplines they're interested in right now, and with that you can make that call. If there's somebody who's right now very, very confused because they have like 5, 6 disciplines that are in their mind, then we have something called the Foundations Program, which is a flagship program of Ashoka University, where you get to explore different disciplines. It's not foundation program is largely to help students build a very strong foundations for decisions that they want to take later in life. So it will give them that level of exposure across different disciplines, say from literature to law, to philosophy to psychology. However, if they have very niche interests, then they can definitely go through our page and figure out which program works best for them. If they're interested in the STEM courses at this point of time, then we have 2 STEM programs. One is called Innovators in Science and Tech, which is largely for people who are interested in hard sciences and research. Then we have something called TDCS, which is called Tech, Data, and Computer Sciences. This is the opposite of IST. It looks at technology and its applications across different fields. So it's from the tech point of view.
Arushi,
Yeah.
between FP, EBL, and ILT, how do you decide?
Okay,
FP, EBL, and ILT, how do I decide? See, I have to register. Na? One program I have to register. Suppose I register for EBL and then after Sonipat I go and I realize, no, FP was better. Can I do the switch?
If they're interested in business, then we have something called EBL Advanced, where they will get to do both EBL and foundations together. It will be a 2-week program. It's called an advanced program. However, if they're very interested in working in the impact sector right now, they want to know more about what is it like to work in different global challenges like health, how to solve for these challenges, education, environment, climate. If they want to understand what is it like to create a social sector enterprise, then ILT is the right choice to make. But if they are EBL and right now they have a lot of questions about other disciplines, then EBL Advanced sounds like a better fit. I will also take a few other questions that you asked. How safe is it to travel for a female student? I think it's exceptionally safe. You will obviously you will take a flight from Bombay to Delhi. From the airport, you can come to something called the Jahangirpuri metro station, and from there, Ashoka have their own shuttles, and they come at like every 20 minutes. We have a shuttle coming there. If you enroll, then we will be sharing that schedule with you, and you would be traveling very, very safely from the metro station to the campus in the shuttle itself. So it's absolutely safe. And of course, it's a residential program. So during the program, when students are staying on campus, they're not allowed to leave. So overall, the safety is within the 4 walls of Ashoka, which is absolutely guaranteed.
Okay.
Yeah, just to add to that, like for most of our programs, female students outnumber the male students. We have different residence halls, and there's no cross, connection that the students can go to either of the halls. That's not possible. And also, I just would like to talk about security with one example per se, that we understand that you are a parent sitting in Mumbai and you are just sending your daughter to Sonipat. So we just are very mindful of these facts, and we have try to build in some of the systems. So we have this helpline number, which is uh, 16 hours, 14 hours operational, that if you're not able to reach out to your ward, you can reach out to us. And we have Palotra, like 75 counselors who are these Ashoka UG students who, are with your student, like these YSP students all the time. Like they are taking care of their academic, sessions, they're taking care of their residence hall experience, they're taking care of their dining experience. We have an infirmary in place at Ashoka University. So all of that, and you can the team is very accessible. You can reach out to us over the helpline number, you can reach out to us over the email, and the team is very responsive. As critical as when your daughter or your child enters the Ashoka University gate, you will get a notification that your ward has entered, and it is only at the end day when they are allowed to exit the campus, god forbid any other emergency, or you have something that you want to visit your ward, we take care of that. But it is only at the exit day that you also get a notification that now maybe your ward has exited Ashoka University campus. So we take care of all those, security things, and we have this not just the high school programs or the young scholars program team taking care of the students. We have entire Ashoka University fraternity. We have the infirmary team, we have the dining team, we have our counselors, we have the residence life team, we have everybody, security, the guards, everybody, they know how YSP is critical, because these are really, really young children who are coming to a university for a residential experience. So everything is in place. We assure you that the program is very secure.
And
Yeah.
male-female mix in any program?
Definitely. The classes are co-ed, like male and female students attend similar classes, same classes.
And if you do a summer workshop, does it guarantee you admissions after 12? Do you get a preference?
For Ashoka University, no, we don't. That is not the logic for high school programs. Young Scholars program or doing Horizons Achievers program does not guarantee you to get you an admission in Ashoka University.
And no preference also?
No.
Okay. Thank you.
Question? Thank you so much, Manish. I think Divya had a question. She wants to know more about YSP Foundation, but I think I'll just answer her latter question, which was like the the mentor for both the courses. So, see, for YSP, we have a lot of faculty. So maybe you would be, if you're coming for a week, you would be, I guess, meeting around 30 to 40 faculties, Urvashi, if I'm not wrong. So your day is divided such that you have 2 to 3 academic sessions which are faculty led, and then you have these workshops which are again faculty led, but then you have a lot of counselors or PhD students coming in to help you in break down into smaller groups and guide you through. And then you have your inspiring speakers. So there's no one such faculty when you come to YSP, because these are the experts in their own field. So if somebody is choosing IST and they want to learn about sciences and research, so they would be interacting with a lot of faculty who come from the chemistry background, biology background, biotechnology background, physics background, research background, and how all of these and their interdisciplinarity and intersectionality, like how they intersect with each other. We have the faculty who talks at the intersection of psychology and biosciences. So you would be meeting a lot of people. But when it comes to HAP, it is a faculty-led course. You would be learning live from one faculty, and you would be working with one mentor. So there's one course led by one faculty member, and the capstone project is guided by one faculty and one teaching fellow. I hope, Divya, that answers your question. I can also look for you and try to unmute you. Yes, here you are. And also, Urvashi, if you could elaborate a little on YSP Foundation.
Sure. Thanks for that question, Divya. I just want to keep a time check for everybody. We are at 7:36, so I understand that there will be attendees who might want to exit at this point. Feel free to do that. If you have, however, I would say the questions that are coming in are pretty extensive, they're wide-ranging, so I think it would be beneficial for everybody to hear the answers for all of them. For YSP Foundation, it's a flagship program of Ashoka University. So it's something that Ashoka believes that disciplines don't exist in isolation. So we offer something called the foundation program or foundation course to every undergrad student. which means that by the end of your 3-year or 4-year graduation, you would have done courses on literature, you would have taken a paper on books of the world, you would have taken a paper on math. So it doesn't matter what you're studying, you would know a little bit about all the disciplines and you would understand where the intersectionalities happen. Where does math become important for somebody who's studying law? Stuff like that. Similarly, we also have tried to imbibe the same spirit in a young scholars program. So foundation program is for students who right now have very different interests across disciplines and they want to have an exposure into all of them. Foundation program provides you that insight into different disciplines. So you could have sessions on psychology, but you could also have sessions on critical thinking. You could have sessions on math and algorithms. You could have a session on neurosciences. And there was a session on learning how to learn, which was really interesting last year. So it gives you an insight into wide-ranging topics. So you understand what's waiting for you at the end of the decision-making tunnel. Something that is exclusive to foundation program is that we really build on 21st century skills and persuasive communication skills, which may not be present in other programs. So you would have the art of writing your college essay, which is very particular for foundation program. You would have something called a design thinking workshop, which is very exclusive to foundation programs. So if you're really somebody or your student is somebody who's right now at the cusp of decision making, but has like 10 different interests in 10 different disciplines, foundation program would be a great fit for them. Of course, it's a 5-day program or a week-long program. And like Arishi said, you would meet both Ashoka faculty or visiting faculties. You would also meet plenty of industry experts because you would have inspiring speaker sessions. Yeah, that's about it, Divya.
Thanks, Urvashi. Do we have any other question? Please type it on the chat. We have also posted, Prithvi has posted their email ID. We have posted Young Scholars and Horizons email ID. If you have any follow-up question, please write to us. Nidhi, I think you have a question. Please go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to know what is the student-teacher ratio in the Horizons Achiever program?
So since it is an online courses, the ratio, the batch size is around 25 to 30 students. So
Okay.
they would be learning live from a faculty, but it is on Sundays that they would be working in even in a smaller group. So 5 students would be working in a, they would be getting down into breakout rooms and they would be working on smaller aspects of the project or something that they have to present together as a group and which feeds into the project itself.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Any other question we have? Very happy and very excited to answer any question. Thanks, Prithvi, for sharing your email ID. Difference between HAP and YSP. Yeah, I think, Manish, what we have been trying to talk about, but I'll just lay out what actually is different for YSP and HAP. It's definitely where your child stands and what they want to test. It's the clarity they seek or they want to build their profile. But YSP is a summer residential program that happens at Sonipat Ashoka University campus, and the student is or the child is expected to be in the campus for a week long or a 2-week long, depending on the program that they choose. But for Horizons Achievers program, these are online courses. So you don't have to come to Sonipat per se, but you have to just log into your laptops and learn live. So these are Ashoka certified courses, but are taught by the faculty both alike from Ashoka and Ashoka's network. So I think one of the differences is definitely the way, the mode in which they are conducted, and definitely what we have been trying to talk about. Say what the child wants for themselves, like which stage of decision making they are in. Manish, does that answer your question? What you were looking for?
And just to add to what Arishi is saying, if you do an HAP course, you will have eventually a capstone project and you will be certified on the basis of how well you did or when you submit that capstone project. At YSP, it's more exploratory. So you don't have, like somebody was asking me if there are any assessments at the end of workshops. No, we don't. It's largely a self-assessment. Students figure it out themselves. If they want more guidance, of course, there are people who can help with that, but we don't have capstone projects as such as part of ISP at this point.
Yeah, I think that if we talk about the differences of what HAP is, because HAP is actually helping you to build your profile, it gives you a lot of opportunity to do hands-on activities, which is not just explorative, but actually getting into, the problem that you're solving for, and you come up with a product. So say, for instance, you have taken entrepreneurship and business, and the course is a startup to the end game. So your end product would be that you would have a startup pitch ready that you can pitch to any of the stakeholders for incubation, and any idea that you can pitch to the larger fraternity, to get in and extended for that project itself. Say for other courses, you could have a research paper that is an outcome of the course. You could have, an AI bot is one of the projects that the students will be working on that can play poker for you. So it's not just, what students would be learning, it is also what they would be implementing. And then definitely these assignments, these projects would be graded. So since it is a lot of rigor that the students would be going for, these projects are graded, and top 3 students would get letter of academic appreciations, and top 1% students would be getting these extended opportunities. These opportunities are not for all the students who do these courses, but it is basis on the performance. So in that way, HAP is very different from YSP, in which you are assessed a lot on the basis of your performance, how well you're performing in the classes, for the projects, and then you can avail all of these LOAs and extended opportunities.
And both are applicable for 8th standard to 12th standard, correct?
Students entering grade 9. So if your daughter is
9th to 12th.
9th to 12th, yes.
And
So
what's the investment difference between YSP and HAP?
So for YSP, for a week-long program, the fee is 49,500, and for a 2-week program, it is 85,000. For a HAP course, the courses are rupees 22,000 plus GST.
And HAP is also a 5-day program?
HAP is a 5-weekend long.
Okay, weekend. Okay. So that's the only difference.
Yeah.
So if I don't want to send her to Sonipat, I can opt for HAP, which will have the similar learning outcomes.
Yes, absolutely. Like if you think that, it again, what we're trying to establish is that what your daughter really wants to do, where she is. So if she's in grade 11 and she has decided that she wants to know more about this particular subject and dive deep into, so it's not a breadth experience. In YSP, it's a breadth experience that you would be learning different things about that discipline. But for example, I will give you a very day-to-day example of, say, physics, chemistry, biology के बारे में, it's in your IST. But if she knows that, biosciences really interests her, that is when she can take HAP. And then she will be talking a lot about how, say, for instance, can life be created in a test tube? So this is one of the case studies that we are focusing on in a biosciences course. I hope that helps you to decide HAP or WISE. But definitely.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other question that we might have?
I think I will just also take up a layer of a question that was asked. I think there was a question on how can we better counsel students. So I think there's a difference between how can we better counsel students versus how can we be better counselors. We have spoken about how to better counsel students, asking them a lot of questions, speaking to them, understanding what their interests are. Eventually, they become the decision makers. How to be better counselors would be, I think you need to be aware as to what is floating around. And then eventually, in that haze of 1,000 opportunities, I think just like 10,000 co-curricular activities that exist, you need to be able to make sense and connect the right things to the right profiles. I think that's where, so your awareness about programs like HAP, your awareness about programs like YSP is important. But your awareness about tools that exist in the ecosystem that can help you make sense of that haze is also important. So I think that's where PIPPAM comes in. So you need to know how to use the tool. You need to know how to that tools like these exist, and eventually you need to be able to share that learning, whatever you have on the platform, with the students. So that way, I think you can be better counselors. Nidhi has raised their
Yeah.
hand. Go for it.
Arushi, I had another question for you. See, my daughter is presently in grade 9th, and we are thinking of enrolling her for the YSP program for this year. But I find the Horizons Achiever program also very interesting, and maybe, she still has time, so probably next year she can apply for that. Could you just guide me on which program would be more suited for a child who's really into writing fiction and is interested in psychology as well?
I know the courses that could do Marvel for her, but Urvashi, would you like to take this? Because I think Nidhi is also exploring YSP. So I would definitely talk about a YSP foundation though. But yeah, go ahead.
Thank you for that question, Nidhi. I think if she's in grade 9, it's more like interest in writing and interest in, you said psychology, was it?
Yes, psychology.
Okay. So it's more like a discipline interest. They don't have a niche interest, so to speak. They don't know which branch in psychology would do marvels for them. I think if similarly for writing, if they really want to know how to ace your college essay, there's a very good course that HAP has, which is just marvelous. I've looked at the course; it's fantastic. But if they want to look at writing as a whole activity, then there are multiple programs at YSP that cover that particular element. So for example, writing, if they want to look at scientific writing, we have STEM courses which will cover how to write a research paper, what is research writing look like. Similarly, if they only want to look at writing as a skill overall, like persuasive writing, then we have foundation programs that looks at it in a very in-depth scale. But they also shared that they are also interested in psychology. So right now, foundation program seems like a best fit to me, because they will get to cover both writing as well as aspects of psychology in foundations program. If their interest is more leaning towards psychology, then we have something called PBW, which is psychology, behavior, and well-being, where we cover psychology in depth as a discipline. So you will see what different
Yeah,
disciplines of
she's
psychology
actually thinking
branches.
of that one only, psychology, behavior. She's interested in that one. But I was just wondering that,
Okay.
any other courses that are in HAP that, like you suggested, with the essay one. So probably we can look into that after she's done with the Young Scholars program.
Absolutely,
Absolutely,
absolutely.
Nidhi. We have a course in psychology itself, which is neurosciences of well-being. So you know how these courses are also structured. It's that students just not learn about the concepts of neurosciences, of how brain circuitry, that how emotions or happiness would have an impact on your neurons. And students would be working on a lot of simulations, and they would be doing building their own neuron per se also during these sessions. But I think what faculty also wants to come at is that the students would also learning a skill with it. So each course culminates in a demo day wherein students would be either presenting their work to the larger course audiences, or multiple courses coming together, and they would be presenting it to larger set of students or faculties, or they could be submitting their papers. So it is also on the skills that are getting focused on when it comes to have courses as well, because there's a project and it culminates in a submission and a demo day. So you can the students and the mentors are actually helping students to write for their projects and also present their projects. So these are some of the skills that the mentors would also be working very closely with the students. And I would just like to also answer one of the questions that Manish asked, that if the students would get an assessment of what careers or maybe potential subjects that they can choose. I think asking the right questions and having that space really matters when it comes to high school students. So for HAP, what we have is on the 5th weekend, we have an open space wherein students, after going through the course, they have this time with the faculty and the experts, wherein they can ask very personalized questions like, say, hey, I'm interested in psychology and writing. Maybe what is the career trajectory or which university I should look at? And these are the faculties who are taught these courses. These are the faculty who has interacted with your ward for 4 weeks. So they have a sense like where they are coming from, what has been their performance, and they can give a larger picture as well, that what are the potential careers or opportunities that the child can look at. I would also like to just come in over here with this one small proposition, we have this online webinar series going on, which is Career Spotlights, which we are trying to build for high school students, parents, counselors, educators, teachers, wherein we are giving a space. So, and we have done, I think, 4 to 5 so far, and we have 3 or 4 more in the pipeline, wherein it gives you a space to ask your questions live from a faculty. So faculty would be talking about what are the, some reflections on their personal journey, but also what is the potential of this discipline or this skill in 5 years or next 10 years. Like Urvashi very rightly said that, we are not preparing students for right now. We are preparing students for the future of studies, future of works. So the focus comes in there. So, we have this career spotlight webinar series, and I would love to, see some of you asking your questions live from the experts as well. I hope that answers your question, Nidhi.
Yeah, thank you, Urvashi, and thank you, Arushi. Thank you, Prithvi. You've been very helpful throughout the session.
Thank you, everyone. I think if anybody, I don't see any more questions coming in. I would request if you have any other questions, just let us know, drop us an email. We are very responsive on all our 3 email IDs.
Yeah.
And happy to connect. Thank you so much. Thanks, Prithvi. Thanks, Urvashi.
Thank you both, and thank you everyone for attending. Thanks so much.
Thanks. Bye. Bye. Take care.